What's up guys, it's Rosebud and welcome to my channel. I hope you're fine, I hope you're great, and I hope this video finds you well. Yeah, it's such a weird day because I feel today that, especially today, that this year, the 2020, has really been like the biggest bitch ever, because it just feels like whenever the world is going through something, before even we can get to breathe, before we can just get a break, something else happens. And it started right after this year kicked off. Until now, we just cannot have to get a break. It's frustrating. And with that, I want to send my love, I want to send my thoughts, my prayers to everyone in Beirut, anyone who might have lost someone during those explosions, those of you who have loved ones hurt, injured in hospitals or even at home, those of you also who are going to carry some emotional, psychological burden from it. I really want to send you to think about you, and I want you to know that we are with you. I'm with you. I am so sorry, so sorry. As though the pandemic was not hard enough, strong enough, something like this had to happen. It's frustrating. Yeah. Anyway, but you know, these things which happen have really been so hard on certain people, have been horrific to others. But the one thing we can say that we've learned is that in all this, I think we learn to appreciate each other more. We get to have a little bit hope, because no matter what has happened, we can see that the mankind has kind of grown to stay together. It's grown more together than apart. And I've seen this solidarity all through from January, as the lockdowns were going on, and so many of you who were so selfless took it on themselves, went to every, I don't know, household, going to do shopping for them, risking their lives in order for the others to stay safe. And then we had also the movements with George Floyd, and we saw many people showing solidarity. It gives me hope that there is some humanity in mankind after all. It had to take such big disasters for us to show some kind of empathy for each other. But yeah, thank God, I am happy we did this. Yeah, and for today's Wednesday video, I thought we'd do something enlightening, something which is not heavy, something which is just for us to kind of breathe and force the break and just yeah, maybe have a laugh or anything which just doesn't have to involve us feeling low and so emotional. Something very, very light. Yeah, that's why today I will just share with you 5 things about Germany which really surprised me the first time I came here. And if you want to find out what those 5 things are, please stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get straight to it. So, alright, the very first thing that surprised me when I came to Germany was the relationship Germans have with their dogs. Let me explain. So this is the first thing I learned when I came to Germany that first day when my au pair family came all the way to Hamburg airport to pick me up and drove all the way back and brought me to their place. And then they opened the door, and just having the door, just opening the door, and there comes a dog jumping over me. You know what Rose does? Run for her life. In order to understand my reaction, let me take you a little bit back to where I came from, okay? In Kenya, we have dogs, and our dogs in Kenya, they are trained watchmen, like real trained watchmen. So dogs, from a very, very, very young age, they are taught who lives in this homestead. The parents, the children, the dogs know them. They know how they smell. They know how they speak. They know them completely. So in Kenya, during the day, when we have like intruders and strangers and friends and family and whoever coming over to visit you, the dogs are usually locked up. Come evening at around 7 p.m. when the sun is going down and it's getting dark, the dogs are let out. They know everyone who lives in the homestead. They know how those people smell. They know how they speak. They know everything about them. So, thing is, if anyone crosses that gate, crosses that fence, anyone they are not used to, that is like telling the dog, boom, attack, and they are going to be teared up. They are going to be no. So if you're going to visit a Kenyan and you think you might be arriving a little late, better ask them, do you have a dog? If they tell you they do have a dog, ask them, what time do you let the dog out? If you're arriving past the dog time, better call them, tell them to come pick you at the gate, and they will take you inside. Otherwise, if you just come, get into someone's gate or cross someone's fence after the dogs are being let out, God have mercy, because you're just going to be in tatters. You're just going to be done. That's the end of you. So yeah, that's how Kenyans' dogs are taught to be watchmen, to guard the home, to make sure no intruders come in. So take that mind and now imagine me coming all the way from Kenya. I am sure this dog does not know me. The door is opened and the dog jumps on me. What I thought was, this dog wants to finish me. Better run, better run, because I am a dead person. For me, in that moment, I was such a dead person. So I was like, like marathon run. It's not just like, no, like for my life. And everyone was so confused. The dad and the kids, they were like, Rose, running after me. It's like, come on. And you can imagine what kind of reaction they might have had, because I had already written them, I have a dog in Kenya. So they knew I liked dogs. They knew I knew how to, interact with dogs. But dogs are not the same. Kenyan dogs, German dogs, not the same. So yeah, I was so surprised how Germans interact with their dogs. They are like, they lick them from head to toe. They sleep on their legs. They sleep on their sofa, even in their beds. It doesn't matter. It's a whole different thing. Nothing about watchmen. They are just like, bigger cats. In other words. Yeah, so yeah, that surprised me so much. Good. The second thing that really surprised me when I came to Germany was the fact that you could just drink tap water like that. Me, Rose, little girl, coming from a village in Kenya, we are not just used to drinking water which just comes in our taps from the Mount Kenya hills. No, before we drink that water, it's got to be cooked because there is so much bacteria, there is so many worms and all kinds of parasites in there. So you just don't take tap water and drink. No, just cook it first, then drink it. So you can imagine how surprised I was just seeing someone taking a glass, putting themselves some water from the tap and drinking. I was like, what? Bist du lebensmüde? Are you like suicidal or something? No. I came to understand that the German tap water is the most controlled food we have. It's so secure to drink that water. It's even more controlled than the tap water you buy in the supermarket. It's more controlled than, I don't know, the milk or whatever kind of product you buy from the supermarket. So yeah, that really surprised me, that German water is so clean and so controlled and so secure. You can just get it from the tap and drink. Crazy. Yeah. The third thing that really surprised me when I came to Germany was the pork. Well, I have to laugh a little bit because it's meat. How can I make a video without talking about meat? It's crazy. But really, usually in Kenya, the most common kind of meat we have is beef. Most people who have livestock, they just have cows and bulls, you know, cattle. And others have some poultry, and then we have some goats and sheep. And then really we have someone with a pig. So eating pork is something really rare. I can count my whole life how many times I ate pork in Kenya with one hand. I think 3 times. I'm not even completely sure. But really, pork is not such a common kind of meat in Kenya. And when you're buying pork, it's expensive. So it's got to be for that really special occasion. And in some cases, it's actually believed that the pork meat has some kind of medicinal effects. So yeah, it's expensive. And then me coming from Kenya, landing in Germany, and there's so much pork everywhere and so cheap. You cannot believe. And the Germans know how to make their pork so well, so delicious. So yeah, pork. That really surprised me about Germany. Yeah, you know what I mean. All right, the fourth thing that really surprised me about Germany has also to do with food, and it's the amount of bread and how often it's eaten. And because in Kenya, growing up in Kenya, I just knew that bread was meant for breakfast, and not even everyday breakfast. Special days breakfast. In Kenya, usually, maybe this is a video for another day, we just have porridge for breakfast or the food from the previous evening for breakfast. If you have bread, it's when your parents are being special, or maybe you have a visitor. Usually. And bread is usually with some butter, some margarine, some jam or some honey. Yeah, and that's like the breakfast bread. This is how I know bread. You know, Kenyan loaf, you know, mafuko, Broadway, or what kind of bread, other bread we have in Kenya. And it's just the same. It's just this white, quite soft bread. It feels a little bit like the brioche, but it's not that sweet like this French brioche, but it's like white, soft, and a little sweet. That's the bread. You go ask for bread in Kenya, that's the kind of thing you get. In Germany, there are like hundreds and hundreds types of breads. For breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for, you know, zwischendurch, because they have these things they call the Zwieback. It's like a hard bread. It's like, you can just have it like a snack. It's like, I would call it bread chips. crazy. Yeah, so they have like a really, really many from all kinds of cereals and seeds and white and dark and hard and soft and mixed and all kinds of breads. I was really surprised how many breads there can be and how often people can eat them. And if you come to Germany, let me promise you, you will fall in love with your bread. You will. You will, because their bread is so delicious. It's so delicious. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah. The fifth, last but not least thing that surprised me when I came to Germany will be their windows. So in Germany, they have these huge window planes. So they just have the piece of glass plane on the window, and that's it. In Kenya, when you have a window, we first have these metal, they make it out of, I think, steel. It's these patterns on the window planes, and then you have the glass planes. So that if someone breaks this glass, they still cannot get in. No way, because of these metal patterns, yeah, on the window plane. It's crazy. And then I come to Germany and they have these huge glass planes. Wow. And then you can just open it all wide, like in the morning, and then you have all the influx of that fresh air. Wow, crazy. And then in most German windows, it's just not the opening, but you can also like incline them, like just the upper part, so you can just have like a breeze of wind, breeze of air coming in, especially when it's warm, and you just have that warm, not hot, just warm. Then you have that cool breeze just blowing in your house, in your office. It's just like amazing. It's like, oh, and the first time I first struggled with the windows because I really did not know how to make this clink open, so I was ending up having both sides like keeping it like this, but it's so nice. Such a great thing. And I think this is all just due to the great security that we have in Germany. Then you can afford to just have these big window planes with nothing but just the glass. Wow. So nice. So thankful for that. Yeah. So yeah, those were my little five little things that really surprised me when I came to Germany. If you are a foreigner in Germany, did these things surprise you too? Did they? Let me know at the comments below. And thank you so much for watching this far. If you've not subscribed, please do. And till next time, please stay safe, stay blessed and optimistic, and we will make it. 2020, we are gonna conquer you in Jesus' name. Until then, please stay then. So, and till next time, ciao.